Hello and welcome to part 4 of my Necrophos jungling guide. In the other parts I've showed you how to get to a level 10 in 10 minutes in the Dire jungle. I've showed you how to farm the Dire Ancient safely using a magic stick. I've showed you how to do the triple stacking on the Radiant jungle. I've showed you all the tryhard stuff basically. So now to wrap things up, I figured I would get one of those ridiculously fast item timings. So using the Radiant Ancients here today, I'm gonna show you how to get the fastest Midas you will ever see. So this is for you guys who wanna go full greed in pop games. It is really fast and can potentially be quite devastating. So here first of all I've bought a quilling blade and cut down the trees in this area right here. And then the main position of my hero will be here in this little corner, because when I stand right here I can get a lot of hits in onto the ancients. You only move away from this corner if you want to go for runes or if you want to stack the ancients, like you saw I just stacked here at 0053. And of course you do want to stack the ancients here every minute at 53. Notice that when the dragons gets close to me, I move back just a little bit so I'm sure they won't damage me, because they really hurt. So here around 40 I stop attacking for just a moment so I'm sure the creeps will be back in the camp so I can stack them now here at 53. And then I'll just take the next rune here. The bounty rune is the best one, but of course I'm not complaining about getting a double damage rune. It is very important that you target your right clicks on the correct ancients. Up until your level 3 you should hit the creeps which got the lowest amount of HP left, because you want to get to that fast level 3 as soon as possible, so you can get your level 2 Heartstop aura. And again here I stack at 53, and this time there's no rune, so I just stack by going down this way and to the left, and then I'm right back to farming. But yeah, as I was saying, up until your level 3 you want to hit the creeps with got low HP so you can get your level 2 aura as soon as possible. But after your level 3 you want to hit the creeps with got the highest amount of HP left, because you want to get the maximum usage out of your Heartstop aura so you'll be ready to clear most of the ancient camp stack 4 to 5 minutes into the game. So here in a second I'll bring the courier to take my quilling blade back to the base so I can sell it in order to get my fast Midas. So the main idea this time is to get your Midas as soon as possible so you can go to the hard camp and Midas the big creep and then still make it back to stack the ancients at 53. So here I complete the Midas at 418, which is like insanely fast. So here I just Midas the big creep and then I don't finish the camp. Don't make the mistake of trying to clear the camp completely. Just keep your eye on the timer so you're sure you'll make it back to stack the ancients again at 53. That's the most important thing. So from now on I'm just gonna rotate between the ancients and the hard camp and the medium camp. And the farming rate is insane. When you think about it, you get full value from farming the ancients, and on top of that you're farming 2 other camps and you have a Midas. So when the ancient camp stack is big, you might want to stay here and farm it, and when your Midas is off cooldown you should rotate to the other camps and just farm them for as long as you have time for. At this point you could rotate, you got your level 6, you got your boots, you could potentially get some kills with your ulti, but honestly you don't really contribute much when you go Midas first item, so it might be better for you to just stay here and farm until you have your first useful item completed. So if you do get the runes and you play without mistakes, you can get your Midas between 4 and 5 minutes. And you do need to play well though, you need to not miss a stack and you need to right click the correct creeps like I explained before. So I recommend that you try this out in a lobby game first. It is not as easy as it looks. And if you don't get the first bounty rune, then you'll first get your Midas between 5 and 6 minutes, but that is like still ridiculously fast. This is probably the only time you will ever see me picking up runes in a jungle guide. Generally I don't like doing it because in a real game you can't always expect to get the runes, so I never pick up runes in my jungle guides. But you know, this is like in the spirit of seeing how fast I could get a Midas, so today I'm gonna make an exception. Just for the fun of it, I'm choosing here to farm the scepter on top of the Midas, and I'm starting with the staff of wizardry because that gives me more mana and more damage. In a real game, picking up the point booster first might not be a bad idea either, because that gives you some more survivability. Here is an example of what happens when you forget to look at the timer. What I'm doing right now is terrible. I tried to kill the satyrs, but then I shouldn't have, because now I'm too late to stack the ancients, and that's a big mistake. And I don't think I even killed the satyrs. It's just a misplay on my part. But at this point it doesn't even matter that I mess up this bad. Now I'm just gonna clear the ancient camp stack and my farm is still through the roof. I'll get my scepter here in just under 14 minutes. This is like the dream scenario, and I'm pretty sure this is also gonna be hard to pull off in a high level team game. At least if you're playing against a good team who understands that you can't just leave Necrophos alone like this. But hey, you never know. Sometimes strats like this go unpunished even against good teams. But in most cases I think this is gonna be hard to pull off in team games. If you really want to do incense in team games, then you should do it on the dire side, and then you should get treads and a magic stick instead of the Midas. In part 2 I explain why I think dire is better and how you should do it, at least when it comes to team games. But in pub games, this fast Midas here on the radiant side can be devastating. All you need is to be left alone for 4 minutes and then you have a Midas on a hero that can do a lot of impact. In most pub games it actually takes people a few minutes to realize, oh wait, there's a Necrophos in the game. He must be jungling. We should probably do something about that. So do this in pub games and do your team a favor and practice this in a lobby game first. If you do this correctly, you can have a lot of success in pub games, but if you're too slow, then you might just take your entire team down with you. So practice in the lobby game first. This wraps up my work on Necrophos. I will at some point play all these heroes in like pub games and upload the game so you can see real game examples. But for now I'm just spending most of my time developing and creating these jungle guides. I barely have time to play pub games these days, to be honest. I still have a bunch of heroes that can abuse the jungle in ways you've never seen before, so I want to share my ideas with you sooner rather than later. But I'm really happy to hear that people are beginning to use my ideas a little bit on the pro scene, but mostly I hear people saying that they have a lot of success in pub games with like cuddle jungling for example. And if you're one of those people, by the way, if you have used one of my strategies in a game and you want to appear on my channel, then send the game ID to my email bonelessgmail.com or write the game ID here in the YouTube comments. Then I'll look at it and maybe do a replay analysis of your replay where I talk about the things you did good and what you maybe could have done a little bit better. I think it would be pretty interesting for people to see some examples from real games. So do that, show me the match ID, preferably the same day as you played the game, because the game will expire after 1 or 2 weeks. If you haven't already, you can check out the other parts of my Necrophos jungling guide by clicking here to the left. You can subscribe to my channel by clicking here. And remember, you can now find me on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching and see you soon for some pretty sweet Tinker jungling.